Thinking about your comments, and we say the republic can't exist if our colleagues on the other side of the aisle want to dismiss the calamity that's happening on the border, the human tragedy, because it's not a dismissal. It is a collaboration. It is part and parcel to aiding and abetting. It is part and parcel to being involved in and supporting the largest human trafficking operation in recorded history. That's what it is. If my friends on the other side of the aisle think that there's some political favor in knowing that they're doing nothing about 10-year-old boys and girls being trafficked into unimaginable circumstances, then I sure hope that God is with them, because they're going to need something for their soul. But that aside, look, I get the politics of it, but I, like my good friend and colleague from Texas, cannot help myself in thinking about the founding fathers who pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, knowing that mankind, that men and women were flawed, that they fell short of the grace of God, and that they knew that power was corrupting. And so they set this system up for my good friends on the other side of the aisle, not a democracy, but a republic with competing interests to check the power of government, the power of the avarice of man and mankind, so that the individual was preeminent. The founders knew what the difference was, and that's why they called it a republic. People stand up, and I'm happy that they do, and they pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands. And I would submit to you, many don't know what it means to be a republic. But a republic says that individual citizens are preeminent. And so I talk to my bosses, my constituents, and I ask them, when you can't buy the car that you want, when you're forced to subsidize the car that the other guy wants because he wants to virtue signal to you about how much more he cares about the planet, do you feel preeminent? And they don't. When they can't afford a home, Mr. Roy went through the price of new homes. Unimaginable. My children, I don't know how they will afford to be out on their own. I don't know how you start a business today, and yet somehow we act like we're in a republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, our country is in trouble, and there's an urgency. There's an urgency that Mr. Roy gets. There's the urgency that the people at the grocery store and the gas station, at the movie theater, the people that get up early and pack a lunchbox, they get the urgency. You know who doesn't? Folks in this town who somehow told themselves, well, look, if we save $12 billion and we spend $4 trillion, somehow that's a good deal. Look, I'm not a math whiz, self-admitted, but I can do arithmetic. We spent over $1 trillion in a month around this place. And so you're saying saving $12 billion to spend $1 trillion, let alone $4 trillion, is a good deal? Only in Washington. Only in Washington. I mean, literally, Orwell, he thought he was writing fiction. He thought he was writing fiction. But it's coming to fruition, and we're living in it, and we can't seem to convince our colleagues of the urgency of the situation, the peril that the republic is in when people are not preeminent. When we lie to our citizens and tell them, well, you can buy an electric lawnmower and it's just as good as your gas lawnmower. And I watch my neighbors mow half the lawn. You know why they mow half the lawn? Because they ran out of power. And they got to charge the thing back up. So they mow it the next day. Who ever thought that? Look, if that's your choice, God bless you. But we're lying to our citizens about all of this. This town is lying. And I, for one, won't stand for it. I will not help them pass bills that bankrupt our country, don't secure our border, and don't secure the virtues of liberty for our posterity, my children and theirs. If they want to vote for it, they can deal with their constituents, their bosses, and the good Lord. But I'm not going to help bankrupt my country. I yield to the gentleman from Texas.
I thank my friend from Pennsylvania, and